Long ago, in the early 1700s, a boy named Benjamin Franklin was born in a small house in the city of Boston. His family was very poor, and life was not easy for them. Benjamin was one of 17 children. Imagine living in a house with so many brothers and sisters. There was always noise, and there was never enough money. His father, Josiah Franklin, made candles and soap for a living. It was hard work, and the family worked together just to survive. Even when Benjamin was very young, people noticed that he was different from other children. He was extremely curious. He wanted to know how everything worked. When he saw something new, he asked questions. When someone explained something, he wanted to know more. His mind was always full of thoughts and ideas. Benjamin loved books more than anything else in the world. But books were expensive in those days, and his family could not afford many of them. Still, Benjamin did not give up. Whenever he had a chance, he borrowed books from friends, neighbors, or anyone willing to lend them. Sometimes he stayed awake late into the night reading by the light of a small candle his father had made. School was something Benjamin enjoyed very much, but unfortunately, he could only attend for about 2 years. His father simply did not have enough money to continue paying for his education. This made Benjamin very sad, but he did not stop learning. Instead, he decided to educate himself. He believed that learning could happen anywhere, not just in school. After leaving school, Benjamin began helping his father in the candle shop. Day after day he cut wicks, melted wax, and made candles. The work was boring for him, and he did not enjoy it at all. His father soon realized that Benjamin was not happy doing this kind of work. He understood that his son had a different kind of mind. Later, Benjamin started working with his older brother, James Franklin, who owned a printing shop. This changed Benjamin's life completely. In the printing shop, he was surrounded by books, newspapers, and ideas. He learned how to print pages and prepare newspapers. He also began reading many different kinds of writings from around the world. The printing shop became like a school for him. Every day he learned something new. He read about science, history, philosophy, and politics. Each book opened a new door in his mind. Benjamin began to understand the world in ways that many people around him could not. Benjamin also wanted to become a writer. However, his brother James did not believe that Benjamin was good enough to write for the newspaper. This disappointed Benjamin, but he did not give up. Instead, he came up with a clever plan. One night, he secretly wrote a letter and left it under the door of the printing shop. The letter was written by a made-up character named Silence Dogood. In the letter, this fictional woman shared funny and thoughtful opinions about society. When James and the other workers found the letter, they read it and laughed. They thought it was very interesting and decided to publish it in their newspaper. The readers loved the letter. Soon they began asking for more letters from Silence Dogood. Week after week, Benjamin secretly wrote new letters and left them where they could be found. No one knew that the young apprentice in the shop was the real writer. For many months, the letters were published, and people enjoyed them very much. Benjamin felt proud, but he kept the secret. Eventually, he could not keep it any longer and told his brother the truth. Instead of being happy, James became angry. He did not like the idea that his younger brother had fooled him. Life in the printing shop became difficult after that. Benjamin felt that his brother treated him unfairly. They argued often, and Benjamin began dreaming about a new life somewhere else. He wanted freedom, opportunity, and a chance to follow his dreams. One day, when he was still a teenager, Benjamin made a brave decision. He left home and traveled to the city of Philadelphia. At that time, he had very little money and almost no connections. The journey was long and difficult, but Benjamin believed that the future would be better if he kept moving forward. When he finally arrived in Philadelphia, he looked tired and hungry. His clothes were dusty from travel, and he had almost nothing with him. Legend says that the first thing he did in the city was buy 3 large pieces of bread from a bakery. He walked down the street eating one piece and carrying the others under his arms. People who saw him probably thought he was just another poor young traveler. They could not imagine that this young man would one day become one of the most famous thinkers and inventors in history. Benjamin soon found work in another printing shop in Philadelphia. Once again, he worked very hard and continued reading and learning every day. His curiosity never disappeared. He kept asking questions, studying books, and thinking about new ideas. The curious boy who loved books was slowly growing into a young man full of ambition and creativity. He did not know exactly what the future would bring, but one thing was certain. His love of learning and his determination would take him far beyond the small candle shop where his life began. The story of Benjamin Franklin was only just beginning, and the world would soon discover how powerful curiosity, hard work, and a love of knowledge could truly be. When Benjamin Franklin arrived in the busy streets of Philadelphia as a young teenager, he had very little money and no powerful friends to help him. He looked like an ordinary young traveler who had come to the city to find work. His clothes were simple, and he carried almost nothing with him. However, inside his mind was something very powerful. He had a deep curiosity about the world and a strong desire to learn and improve his life. At first, Benjamin worked in a small printing shop. Printing was an important job during that time because newspapers and books were the main ways people shared information. Benjamin worked very hard every day. He set the printing letters, prepared pages, and helped produce newspapers. Even though the work was difficult, he enjoyed being surrounded by books and ideas. In his free time, Benjamin continued reading everything he could find. He read about science, history, philosophy, and politics. He also practiced writing because he wanted to become a better thinker and communicator. He believed that writing clearly was one of the most powerful skills a person could have. Benjamin also believed strongly in self-improvement. He created a personal plan to make himself a better person. He wrote down 13 virtues, or good qualities, that he wanted to practice every day. These included honesty, hard work, humility, patience, and self-control. Every night he checked his behavior and asked himself if he had followed these virtues. This simple habit helped him grow into a disciplined and thoughtful man. As the years passed, Benjamin became known as a smart and reliable worker. His reputation continued to grow. Eventually, he was able to start his own printing business. This was a big step in his life. Owning a business meant he could make his own decisions and share his ideas with many people. Soon he began publishing a newspaper called the Pennsylvania Gazette. The newspaper became very popular because Benjamin wrote interesting articles and shared useful information with readers. People trusted the newspaper and enjoyed reading it. Through this work, Benjamin slowly became one of the most respected printers in the American colonies. Benjamin also created a famous book called Poor Richard's Almanac. It was published every year and contained weather predictions, calendars, jokes, and wise sayings. Many of these sayings became very famous. One of them said, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." People loved these simple but meaningful pieces of advice, and the book became extremely successful. Although Benjamin was now a successful businessman, he did not stop learning. His curiosity about science continued to grow stronger. One subject that fascinated him was electricity. During the 1700s, electricity was still a mystery to most people. Scientists were only beginning to understand how it worked. Benjamin began conducting many experiments with electricity. He carefully observed how electrical charges moved and how lightning behaved during storms. His most famous experiment involved flying a kite during a thunderstorm. Many people today know this story very well. According to the story, Benjamin tied a metal key to the string of a kite and flew it during a storm. As lightning filled the sky, electricity traveled down the wet kite string and reached the key. This experiment helped Benjamin prove that lightning was a form of electricity. His discovery was very important for science. After understanding the connection between lightning and electricity, Benjamin invented something that helped protect buildings from lightning strikes. This invention was the lightning rod. The lightning rod was placed on top of buildings and safely directed lightning into the ground. Because of this invention, many buildings and homes were protected from fires caused by lightning. Benjamin Franklin's scientific discoveries made him famous not only in America but also in Europe. Scientists and thinkers from many countries admired his intelligence and creativity. He received many honors and became one of the most respected thinkers of his time. However, Benjamin's life was not only about science and business. He also cared deeply about improving society. He helped create the first public library in Philadelphia so that ordinary people could read books and gain knowledge. At that time, books were expensive, and many people could not afford them. The library allowed people to borrow books and learn new things. Benjamin also helped establish a hospital and an academy that later became the famous University of Pennsylvania. He believed that education and healthcare were important for building a strong and successful society. As time passed, the American colonies began to have serious disagreements with the government of Great Britain. Many colonists believed they were being treated unfairly and wanted greater freedom. Benjamin Franklin became involved in politics and used his wisdom to help guide the colonies. When tensions grew and the colonies decided to seek independence, Benjamin played a very important role. He worked together with leaders such as George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Benjamin was one of the men who helped write and sign the historic United States Declaration of Independence in 1776. Later, he traveled to France to ask for support during the American Revolution. His intelligence, humor, and friendly personality helped him gain the trust of French leaders. Because of his efforts, France supported the American colonies, which greatly helped them win the war. Benjamin Franklin eventually became one of the most important founding leaders of the new nation called the United States. His life showed that a poor boy with curiosity, determination, and a love of learning could change the world. From a young printer who loved books to a famous inventor, writer, scientist, and leader, Benjamin Franklin's journey was truly incredible. His ideas about hard work, education, and curiosity continue to inspire people even today, reminding us that knowledge and determination can open doors to amazing possibilities.